Welcome to the continuation of our whiteboard series on metabolism. Most people try to lose weight by working harder and eating less. But let's use the analogy of a car. Think of yourself as being in traffic. Beside you, there's a little red car with a 1600 engine. And then to your right, you've got a souped up race car that has a V8. Now the little red car with the 1600 size engine, just by staying and waiting for the traffic light to turn, saves gas. It does not burn gas at all. The V8, just by idling, vroom, 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 you can hear it. It is burning gas. Now, the same thing happens to the human body. You have to think of your body. If you want to burn fat, rather than trying to empty the ocean using a spoon, the best thing you can do is to upgrade your engine. You have to make the engine bigger. And what is the engine of the human body? That is where muscle comes in. Let's look at two ways. As we've spoken earlier, we've got two ways on which your body accesses fuel. Your body will access fuel, one, as sugar, which is stored in your muscle, your liver and your muscle cells, and then fat that is stored in your fat cells. These two things, we are told that muscle weighs heavier, but it occupies less space than fat. So if we had to use this, if I had to use this, this is a brick. This brick is 1 kilo of muscle. And I'll have another 1 kilo of fat here. This is a pillow. This is 1 kilo of fat. They both weigh the same, but you can see the spaces they take is totally different, because the difference is not the weight. The difference is in the density. If you build up your muscle, which is consistently burning fat. Now, first you have to ask yourself, how do I build muscle? Building muscle will determine if that becomes the ultimate goal for you starting or embarking on a fitness program. It changes what kind of exercises that you take. If we're going to build muscle here, the first thing that we have to start with is resistance training. We have to do weights. And when we talk about weights, most women will always say that I don't want to look like a man. Lifting weights resistance training is not only lifting weights. Your body is also a weight. How many people do you know can run on that treadmill for an hour, but they cannot do a single push-up? How many people do you know can ride that bike for hours, but they can't do below the knee squat? How many people do you know they've been going to the gym since the death of Jesus, but cannot pull their own body weight up? And what that means is that if you go on that scale, you've lost weight, you're 10 kilos lower, but if you look at yourself aesthetically in the mirror, there's no difference. You've just become a smaller version of who you used to be. So you end up being a skinny fat person. Your body shape hasn't changed because your body composition has not changed. The only thing that will impact your body composition is muscle. Now, number one there becomes resistance training. And resistance training starts with your own body weight. You need to be able to lift your body. You need to be able to do a push-up, do a squat, be able to pull your body up. And then number two here is weights. And then when it comes to nutrition, we're talking about protein intake. Quality protein. Your body has a certain amount of protein that it needs on a daily basis for you to function metabolically. When we're talking about that V8 car and it's idling in traffic, the same thing your body does when you're sitting, when you're sleeping, when you're watching TV, when you're working on the computer. The more muscle you have, the more fat you're burning, just like that truck a V8 truck that is in traffic. So the more muscle you have, and for you to build muscle, you have to use your own body, be able to use external weights and bring in proper high quality proteins. Fats here. Most people that are fats here, people that go to the gym with the sole intention of losing weight while in the gym, they'll always be favoring more cardiovascular exercises than resistance training. If you go to any gym, the treadmills are constantly full. If you go to most gyms, most group aerobic classes are always full. And most of these are always dominated by women. Because women, number one, believe that if they build muscle, they're going to end up looking like men. Secondly, most women are scared. They don't know what to do in the gym, and nobody wants to look stupid in the gym. And then number three, most women don't have time. Because they don't have time, they want to go into these structured programs where they'll be in and out after 45 minutes. And of course, the last one is just not prioritizing the quality of muscle or weight that you lose, just being fixated on losing 12 kilos in 12 weeks, irrespective of how much of that weight comes from fat, irrespective of how much of that weight comes from muscle. Because if you're losing muscle, if you're going to lose 10 kilos and 8 of those kilos have come from losing muscle, then the net loss is worse. You become a thin, fat person. You're worse off than when you started that program, because from a metabolic point of view, you're only burning fat while you're physically training in the gym. That's if you're very strong-willed, very disciplined, very tough-minded person. You're pushing yourself consistently. You go to the gym, you are burning fat at that moment. But the minute you walk out through that door, the minute you step off that treadmill, the minute you come off that bike, the minute you stop that rowing machine, at that point, at that cut-off point, straight away you stop losing weight. Now, logically, you need to ask yourself, we have 24 hours in a day. And if on average you're training only 1 hour out of the 24, which is 4% of your whole day, if you're only losing weight and burning fat 1 hour out of 24 hours, I can guarantee you, you'll only get your dream body in your dreams. That will never happen. And that's why we need to leverage. So people that go to gym with the sole intention of losing a certain amount of weight in a given time, they become more fixated on the outcome rather than understanding the process. The first thing they do here is the exercises they choose. They choose more cardiovascular exercises, which there is nothing wrong. Cardiovascular exercise is good for heart stress. But if it is your main source of workout, then you're going to end up losing muscle. Number two, they start yo-yo dieting. These are people that will end up eating as little as possible. They do this and they do that much work. And over time, because your body, you are cutting down on muscle, you're becoming the small little 1600 engine car. All it does is every time you sit down, it has to shut down because it has to preserve itself. And that's what we need to change completely here. When it comes to whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, the most important thing when it comes to permanent weight loss is the quality of muscle that you build. And that cannot be done until you choose the right weight exercises, starting with your own body before we bring in any external weights. And secondly, quality protein. There's a big difference between animal protein and plant protein. We're not going to get into that now, but people that eat cows, people that eat ruminant protein, animals that have 4 stomachs, cows, sheep, goat, those people get a better high quality protein than people that eat protein from animals that have 1 stomach, like pig, fish, All those makes a big difference. We'll cover that in another day. But the important thing here is I need you to understand it is more important, it is more efficient, it is more long-term, better way for you to get your health and keep your body better by upgrading your engine rather than trying to shortchange it by doing little, taking the shortcuts of using a spoon.